art curator or a commercial art space if all you're doing is throwing out your empty opinions out there?
That's the thing. You have connections. You must have connections. You must have a pretty toxic attitude.
Yeah.
And you have to be extremely socially adept.
Yeah.
You have to kiss people's asses. You have to trash talk other people.
Yeah.
You gotta network. And
Yeah.
to do that, you need capital. You need mummy and daddy to cough off $1 million for.
But we're bringing it back for Gronk Village. I think this is number 5 now. But you know, I've been wanting to actually have a conversation with you for a while because you know there's a lot of shit going on right now in the world, and I feel like you're always got an opinion on what's happening or a position on what's happening. But you know, why don't we run through a couple of things around your background? You know, you're kind of an idealist. Yeah, well, what's your background? So what was your education in?
My education, you mean in the uni?
Yeah, what your tertiary education?
Yeah, I was at UNSW. I did a combined Bachelor of Renewable Energy Engineering. So there you go.
You don't want to reveal too much about yourself.
Hippie straight away. But I also did a Bachelor of Arts at the same time. So it was a combined degree. So. And it was majoring in German, minoring in art theory. So every time I tell people that, they're like, you're confused. Which one do you want to do? Yeah. And they're also like, that's really weird, dude.
Confused between which? The environmental stuff and the art stuff?
Yeah. Well, they go, that's really unusual. And they just kind of nod for like 10 seconds.
Taking a degree like that, you know, most of us really think about the job prospects going into education. Did you think that way? Because arts and environmental sciences not necessarily very common career choices, right?
Yeah, no, definitely that's part of it. I've always been a practical person, so engineering is, you know,
pretty
always in demand, right? It's always solid. It just means you're a smart guy who can do maths. That's the way I see it. You solve problems. Yeah. Which I like to do, by the way. So if I had to do it for work and earn money off it, then I'd rather do that. But I mean, there's always the pipe dream that I had, which was like become a curator in an art gallery, become an art gallery director or museum director. Yeah. But as I quickly found out when I actually, you know, talked to these people, they're all pricks. don't have any part of them, you know. Yeah, yeah. Commercial art world's full of shit.
What makes them pricks? What is it? Is it the egalitarian society that they're in? They need to separate themselves out. Do they kind of? So I'd imagine it's pretty condescending the way they talk to
100%
the general public, right?
Yeah, I mean that it's because of the history of the art movement, the commercial art movement, and where these people usually come from, and it's usually a position of privilege. And it's like white privilege, like upper middle class, no, not even middle class, upper class, full stop. Yeah. You know, the advice they give me is, if you want to be an art curator, you really must start early. Start collecting art as soon as you are able to. And it's like, I'm not interested in collecting art to be rich. I like art for the theory of it. I like how it reveals the world around it. And they're like, that doesn't matter. What matters is that you can trash talk everyone. Yeah. Okay. And their opinions, they're all shit. Yeah. They can't justify. You know how in art school, I have to write essays justifying why this artwork is shit. Or like, this one's better than the other one. This one has more meaning. Yeah. They can't do that. They just like pretend. This actually happened once when I was at a gallery. The curator pretended to faint because she didn't like Asian art in general. It was an Asian art gallery.
Pretended to faint. What do you mean by pretending to faint? Like she literally collapsed on the floor?
She was like, I'm feeling lightheaded. I might just go downstairs. I can't handle it. Later downstairs, she was like, I just can't handle this Asian art. Okay. I just want to eat dumplings. Yeah. In the shop downstairs.
Okay. So there's a tendency for some kind of xenophobia in the art world as well. Like racism is
I mean, it's not any more than other industries or other fields, but because they come from this position of, you know, privilege, they're given this position of power. They know better than anyone else. You know? Yeah.
That's an interesting thing, that because that's what I imagine it to be, and you didn't have that idea going into it, thinking, hey, these guys are going to all just be bourgeois faggots.
Yeah, well, that there's this divide in the art world between the academia and the actual people who have jobs as curators and, you know, gallery directors.
Yeah.
And academia are all about egalitarian. They study everyone fairly. They're interested in social issues. When it comes to the commercial world, the only thing that matters is your opinion. And you don't even have to justify that.
Yeah.
You just say, I think this artwork is shit, so I think it's only worth $200. And
Yeah.
say this one is like, oh, I don't know, it just vibes with me, $50K.
But how do you gain credibility as an art curator or a commercial art space if all you're doing is throwing out your empty opinions out there?
That's the thing. You have connections. You must have connections. You must have a pretty toxic attitude.
Yeah.
And you have to be extremely socially adept.
Yeah.
You have to kiss people's asses. You have to trash talk other people.
Yeah.
You gotta network. And
Yeah.
to do that, you need capital. You need mummy and daddy to cough off $1 million for a gallery space in Newtown.
Yeah.
So that you can exhibit some artwork that you purchased yourself.
Yeah.
You gotta invite and talk to the right people. That's how you build your credibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I see. So it's almost like real estate. You open. It's like an open home for art. You're just trying to make networks, enough rich people to come and buy some bullshit art.
Yeah.
That you've made 1,000% markup on.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And all of the, you know, rich people who have nothing better to do except go to, you know, galleries and stuff and buy expensive artworks, they don't know a thing about art. They're just pretending. That's so evident to me.
Yeah.
One of the guys I worked for in one of my internships, so when I was at uni, strange thing, I met him through the accountant of my mum, but he also happened to be the father of one of my best friend's boyfriends. It's really,
Okay.
So my best friend
That's a
was
big
dating his
network
son.
chart you've put out there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. So I know him through two avenues.
Yeah.
And he would ask me like, how's my son's girlfriend going?
Yeah.
Because he couldn't have a direct relationship, and I was like, you're kind of my boss, so
yeah,
I kind of want to like.
You cozy
kind of
up
makes
to
me
you,
feel
yeah.
kind of uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was well, you know, one of those people with lots of privilege and upper class. He was nice to me. He was really good to me, actually. But he was part of this club.
Yeah.
Those invite-only clubs, like gentlemen, not gentlemen's club, but like exclusive clubs.
Yeah, I know. Your country club kind of vibes.
Yeah, country club, but like they're in Wynyard. They're called the Union Club, invite only.
Okay.
Lawyers, architects,
Yeah.
authors, those kinds of
Union
people.
Club. That's an interesting name. Yeah,
I know,
considering
right?
that it's nothing to do with that movement, but yes.
Yeah. So he invited me to an exclusive, like, you know, because he knew I liked art.
Yeah.
Art Gallery of New South Wales for the Archibald Prize.
Yeah.
The club had booked out the entire gallery exclusively after hours. Got the gallery director to give a private seminar on it. People with champagne walking around.
When you were there, did you feel out of place?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. I'm assuming you were one of the few Asian people or ethnics over there, or was that not the case?
I was the only Asian person there.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it like walking around in a room full of rich white people? I feel uncomfortable even when I go to, going to Harris Farms, let alone. What do it feel like?
It feels like I shouldn't be there. It feels like I'm infiltrating the enemy almost, you know? I mean, no one was outwardly hostile or different to me. In fact, it was a bit weird because some of them actually went up to me and they were like, oh, it's good to have some young people around, some different people. You know, they're acutely aware that...
Yeah, it sounds like a euphemism to me, yeah.
They have no diversity. They kind of don't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
It must be the way that, you know, the guys at the Oscars feel. They're like, crap, we look around the room, it's all white men.
Yeah.
How do we get some different people in
But
here?
do they want different people in there? I feel like there's a power to being the majority in those situations. That's why they keep it that way.
I mean, yes, and I know what you're talking about and where you're coming from, but I think it's one of those situations where it's like, we need some token representation here, but we will never let them, you know, take majority control, right? There's no way they're going to let the club turn 60% Asian. But, you know, a few Asians, 10%, that's indicative of the population.
Yeah.
See, we're not racist.
And the type of Asians that they select, right? They're not going to be any with somewhat of an opinion or a directive. It's going to be more of the placated, like you can easily
talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's the way I felt I had to talk. I was talking, geopolitics. I was talking, society laws and social norms with them. They were like, that's so curious. It's always good to have a bit of a young person's opinion on
you're doing a posh
Syria.
British accent, are you? Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are British,
exactly.
actually, that kind of, we immigrated from the UK kind of person.
They live here, but they grow up with the fucking private school British accent, which is strange to me sometimes when I meet people like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's really interesting that you're one of the few people that I know have been in a situation like that and have not really crumbled to the pressure. I would have just walked out of that room. I wouldn't even put myself in a position to go in a place like that, to be honest.
Yeah, frankly speaking, it's not something I would normally do, but I do love art.
Yeah.
And the idea of seeing the Archibald Prize have private tour, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool.
Get free dinner.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Because the Archibald Prize is it's a portrait. Every year gets chosen and wins a certain amount of money.
And then, I was a student at the time, and the entry fee is not free, unfortunately. It's like $20, which is like a lot for me as a student, even though I like art. Just hard for me to justify.